So now I've sold my first car for a profit. I'm officially a car dealer. I sold it for £1,100 after spending about £950 on it. So I made some breadcrumbs to share amongst my family. I've spent a lot of time this week looking for the next project for these videos and to sell on, hopefully for a bit of a profit. I've been through Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, eBay, and today we've even been to a live auction. So far I've not been very lucky in my endeavours, and I have no car to work on. This week's video therefore is going to be a little bit about me and what this channel is, and a few Q&As. So firstly, who am I? Well, I'm Carl. I'm a middle-aged fat balding man, but I'm also a retired or semi-retired school teacher. I've taught physics for 20 something years, and I've always had an interest in mechanics and engineering ever since I was young and picked up my first spanner. I'm generally quite clumsy, but I'm good at the diagnostic stuff. So if I can break it, I will, but I can also figure out how to fix it usually. I still teach a bit of physics, and I do have an online education business, but I really love playing with spanners. So my middle daughter, who's been helping me with some filming and some editing, has agreed to write some questions for me. Here we go. I'd say I really got interested in repairing cars about 15, 16. I bought a Morris Minor Traveller to restore for about 50 quid. Nothing ever happened to it. You know, I bit of a play with it, a bit of a tinker, but never got it done. But certainly by the time I was 17, I was repairing brakes and doing stuff and servicing cars and doing it for friends as well. At 17, I then sort of bought cars that needed work all the time. Ford Escort Mark 1, a couple of Rover SD1s and things like that, and I always needed to, you know, start tinkering around with the engine, and it went from there. What's the next question? Oh, so okay, I'll tell you the truth. Since I finished teaching, I've had this business plan, and I showed it to my wife. And now, okay, a lot of it's been about education and about online resources and teaching. But in there was always the chance of me doing some educational stuff about cars, really. And really that was a backdoor way of sneaking in what I really wanted to do. That was make a YouTube channel about cars. Lots of people do it. I mean, it's really, I'm not the same sort of presenter as other people, but I'd love to just share some of my enthusiasm and what I've learned. But yeah. Next. Dream car, loads. When I was a kid, obviously I had pictures of the Lamborghini Countach. The Ferrari 308 GTS was always going to be there. I'd love one of those. But no, the car I really wanted as a youngster was the Lotus Esprit Turbo. I've never owned one, and I kind of feel a bit incomplete actually. I would love to own one day, and it's not the most sensible car. It's not the best car. It's gonna be a nightmare. Possibly not even affordable nowadays, but yeah, that's what I'd really love. But there's loads of other cars out there, loads of much newer cars, loads of older cars. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. What's next? Oh, hardest repair ever. Anything where I couldn't get my hands and where I could, being very clumsy, I tend to drop things and then lose them inside little channels under the bonnet or anywhere. If I can lose anything, I will. So anything really fiddly. Nobody likes really fiddly stuff. Working on the MGF could be a little bit fiddly. A lot of modern engines doing timing chains and stuff like that. There's usually one nut somewhere. You have to crawl somewhere and get your hand somewhere awkward, and you can't get the spanner all the way around it or something. And it's just, oh yeah, a ratchet spanner is a great addition to your tool set. Yeah, but for that sort of thing. But yeah, anything fiddly where I couldn't get my hands in, I can't really see what I'm doing, I would say. But I tend to enjoy anything that's challenging, so I don't really have ones that I hate. apart maybe welding. I'm not great at welding, although I'm starting to enjoy that a lot more. But yeah, bodywork takes a long time. So probably bodywork would be my least favourite. I prefer tools in my hands. Yeah. Next. Oh, tough. I reckon, I mean, I've seen some other videos out there of some other great creators, and there's clearly a lot of market competition now, and prices are having to be brought down. It's very competitive, and unfortunately, it's always been the case with any big companies that do competitive things. They ultimately take shortcuts, and that human beings somewhere on the planet suffer. So I think in making sure that our vehicles are not necessarily environmentally friendly, but human friendly, to be honest, I think is more important. People aren't harmed during the manufacture of vehicles or treated badly, and I think a lot of car manufacturers are taking shortcuts, and I think that would be the one thing I would change, but it would mean prices going up massively, I'm pretty sure. But really, yeah, I would hate to see people working under terrible conditions to produce parts for a car. And I think, we got rid of a lot of sweatshops and stuff with when people used to buy sports clothing and trainers and stuff, and there was big stuff about that many years ago, and people are more aware of that, but they need to be more aware of that with cars, I think. Oh gosh. All I can say is sorry to everybody out there. I don't know.
Top three?
Hey?
Top three?
I don't know. I like a lot of them. I like a lot of the YouTubers. Awful lot of them. And a lot of them seem really nice people as well. I watch an awful lot of them. A lot of them have great ventures. And of course, I loved Top Gear and Grand Tour and stuff like that. And I remember Clarkson when he was on the original Top Gear, and yeah, I'm that old, yeah. And he brought this humour to it, and this sort of magnificent writing to it, and the way with words that I really admired. Okay, it's all got a bit bigger, and these big caricatures, Hammond, May and Clarkson now, and yeah, they're performing for us, and good luck to them. I think they've certainly done their job, and they've done that really well. But I don't know. Do you know what? I quite like Johnny Smith at the moment. I've watched an awful lot of Johnny Smith the last couple of years, and I really, he's just genuine way with vehicles. I like that. I really like that. He's got this nerdy curiosity, and then these barn finds are absolutely awesome stories. Yeah. So yeah, if I had to pick one at the minute, for me, it'd possibly be Johnny Smith. People who are genuinely interested in cars, I'd say. Next. My favourite. Oh, good question. So I love anything diagnostic. And the simpler the better as well. I love using simple things and human skills. And I love ratchet spanners, but I really love the number of times I make mistakes and I have to redo things because I got to double check. So I end up doing something, then going, not happy with that, I'll do it again. And so I've got another 20-something bolts to undo, or nuts to unscrew, or screws to unscrew, or something like that. And I just love I think sometimes I make mistakes just so I can get this out and use it again. And yeah, I think I love this. I love this. What's next? Drivers and young enthusiastic wannabe mechanics. Well, drivers, it's got to be safeties first, always, and mechanics really. Safety is first. You know, if you want to enjoy things, then keep enjoying them forever with your health and your life. In a lot of cases, sadly, I lost friends when I was younger, so I've always been a little bit, you know, I'm not an angel, but you know, I think safety has to be considered all the time. And don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. I would say don't take shortcuts. Don't be an idiot. But yeah, with cars, have a go. A lot of what I learned when I was young was from chatting to older guys and people in pubs, and you know, and stuff like that. I would go in and go, oh, I'm trying to do this, and somebody would say, I know how to do this, and then somebody else would say, no, you don't want to do it like that, you do it like this, and I'd be going, what the heck? And I'd try and figure out the best way from all the information I was given. And it's a bit like that nowadays. Nowadays you can go on YouTube and loads of people showing you how to do things. Sometimes not the same way, and sometimes they're not always correct. Just get stuck in, use YouTube. And if you're messing with things that are likely to endanger you, just get somebody to come and have a look. But, you know, I don't know. Get something you can practice on. I've still got this old MGF that we've had 20-something years, and, you know, if I want to practice a bit of bodywork or a bit of welding or something like that, you know, try a new tool, that's what I use. I've got that car for that. It's worth nothing. Don't tell my wife that, but it is worth next to nothing. She thinks I can sell it and get $2.5 grand for it. No chance. Nobody would want that. But yeah, no, have a go. Be safe. And use all the resources you can. And get friends involved. You know, listen to other people's ideas. It's a great thing to do with somebody else. Yeah. So, yeah, what does the future hold? Well, ideally, I'd love to get out the garage here. As much as I love working from home, there's just too much clutter in here, not enough space. So I'd like something a bit bigger. I'd love a workshop with ramps, lifts, and in a year's time, hopefully that's where I'm going to be. I just want to continue looking at interesting cars, interesting vehicles, doing a bit of educational stuff about the vehicles themselves and about repairing vehicles, and maybe a bit on road safety, a bit on racing, a bit on other stuff as well. But yes, I'd like to continue with cars, looking at different cars, but affordable for you and I, you know, not supercars. I don't think any of us can afford to live with them unless you're very lucky. I've got some friends who I'm sure will give me some challenges to do in the future, and I look forward to doing that as well. So stick with me, like, subscribe. What's next? Secretly, probably for years, probably 10 years secretly. Yeah. Next. My best car joke. Oh gosh. One that I can say on here. For those who don't know, I've done a bit of stand-up comedy. I don't know. We used to have loads of jokes about things like Skodas when they used to be rubbish. You know, what do you call a convertible Skoda? A skip and things like that. I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Pressure. I'll come back to you later with a joke. I'll come back to you at the end with a good car joke. Is that it?
A bit.
Ah, well, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and next week we'll be looking at the next car I buy and sell. I've also got a moped that we've been working on stripping down. Oh, what a disaster that's been. And you'll find out about that in an upcoming video. And obviously there's the trade-up deals we're doing from that old minor engine to a Golf GTI for my wife that she doesn't know about, so don't tell her. So yeah, that's see you next week. Thank you. My wife used to say that 50 is the new 30. That's probably why she hasn't got a driving license anymore.